Almost all of the nation's wealth will be in the hands of a few thousand families. We're reaching a crucial moment in history that will decide whether the extreme concentration of wealth in this country will become far more concentrated in the hands of a very few. You see, America is now on the cusp of the largest intergenerational transfer of wealth in history. As wealthy boomers expire, an estimated $30 trillion will go to their children over the next 3 decades. Those children will be able to live off the income these assets generate and then leave the bulk of those assets, which by then will have grown far more valuable, to their own heirs, tax-free. The estate and capital gains taxes were originally designed to prevent the growth of large dynasties in the United States and to reduce inequality, but they clearly have not been working, since the richest 1/10% of Americans now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. The estate tax has shrunk in recent years and could be subject to even further shrinkage if Republicans get their way. Right now, it applies only to estates over $11 million per couple, meaning it only affects 2 out of every 1,000 people who die. What's more, wealthy families stash away dollars above this into dynastic trust funds that escape additional taxes. At its current size, it only generates about $20 billion a year, which is less than 1% of federal revenues. Donald Trump and Republican leaders are planning to cut or eliminate the estate tax. The second reason wealthy dynasties are growing is the capital gains loophole. You see, when valuable stocks, bonds, mansions, and works of art are sold, the transaction is subject to a capital gains tax. But if the wealthy hold on to these assets until they die, they can pass them on to their heirs without anyone having to pay any of these capital gains taxes. According to the Congressional Budget Office, this loophole saves heirs $50 billion a year. After a few generations of this, almost all of the nation's wealth will be in the hands of a few thousand families. Dynastic wealth runs counter to the ideal of America as a meritocracy. It makes a mockery of the notions that people earn what they're worth in the market, and that economic gains should go to those who deserve them. And it puts economic power into the hands of a relatively small number of people who have never worked, but whose investment decisions will have a significant effect on the nation's future. Worst of all, it creates a self-perpetuating aristocracy that is antithetical to democracy. Taxing big wealth is necessary if we're ever to get our democracy back and make our economy work for everyone rather than a privileged few. We must increase, not decrease or eliminate the estate tax, and we must close the capital gains loophole.